Me and my boyfriend have been together for a year. My boyfriend has been taking care of his siblings, 16F, 12F, 11M, since his oldest sister was born. When he was 18 he moved out of his parents' house and took them with him. He currently has custody over all his siblings. He is a really hard worker and I haven't seen him or his siblings struggle at all. They have all they need and as far as no has never gone to bed hungry because of him. One of the reasons I fell in love with him is because of his caring nature, especially for his siblings. Not nining to explain the whole dynamics as I know it, but when I say taking care, I mean he took care of them from buying food, to helping with homework. He did it all. He was basically mom and dad for them and he still finished school in the process. His youngest brother even calls him dad. His parents are the definition of deadbeats. Current situation with them is that they don't even know if their parents are alive, and they have no other family. These four is all that is left of the whole family. I slept over at his house last night. This morning around 6 a.m. his sister, 12F, came into the kitchen crying hysterically. She woke up with blood in her pants and freaked out. She started with her period. My boyfriend got her to calm down and explain that she is alright and everything will be okay. He then gave her a brief explanation of what is happening and that her body is changing. He asked her to go and take a shower to get cleaned up and told her where to find the pads his other sister, 16F, is using and to use them as the oldest sister showed her. When she left to go and take a shower he said, "Shit, I thought we would have another year left." I asked what he meant and he said his sister, 16 liters, started her period when Say was 13 and he knows not all females and bodies are the same but he thought it would be around the same time. So he was a bit unprepared forced discussing. I was shocked with that comment and the fact that he knew his sister used pads. Why does he know when she started her period in the first place? Why does he know what she uses? I wanted to ask him why he knows this but kept the question to myself. When his sister returned from her shower he asked if Evertime was alright or is she having any discomfort. I started to get disgusted when he asked that question. He told her she doesn't have to go to school today and he will take her for some shopping. After breakfast he sat her down in the living room and explained everything in detail to her, regarding what is going on, what will happen, all of it. He said he helped the older sister with her first time and will help her as well. He finished with saying that her sister, 16, will be able to help her more with the type of products to use and how they work. I was surprised, shocked and disgusted about all the thing he told her. He was correct in everything that he told her, but no brother should know that much about what is happening to his sister's bodies. Unfortunately his oldest sister wasn't at home to help. She had a sleepover at a friend due to a project for school. So he took charge of explaining everything. He must have seen the disgust in my face and asked me what is wrong and it just slipped out. I told him, "You are a disgusting pig." The words just kept coming out of my mouth. I couldn't stop talking. I told him exactly what I thought about the situation and that it's disgusting that he knows that much, especially about his own sisters, and is now trying to coach the younger sister on what to do. He just asked me to leave. He didn't argue, yell, nothing, just said leave my house. I know I went about it in the wrong way but my stance is the same. No brother should know that much about his own sister's body function. Ada. Edit, if you don't believe me that is fine, but don't comment. I was there, I said what I said. Don't know what I can say other than what I know to prove this is real. I just want to know if my stance is correct and if I should apologize for everything I said. Seeing some of the comments I think you guys are not understanding my point. I don't want to sound mean but he could have just called his sister to explain everything to her or better asked me to explain it to her. I would have been a lot better if it came from another girl. Yes, he explained everything correctly and even told her about the different products to use but said the other sister will explain those better as she has experience in what actually works. Why didn't he ask me to explain anything to her? I would have done it gladly. There are certain things that should stay private and especially a brother should not know. Update 1. Everyone saying he would leave me. You were right, he dumped me. I went to his house to apologize to him and his little sister. The 16-year-old was there as well. She slapped me and shouted at me, calling me vile names. She shouted at me for trying to break the family apart and trying to say her father is a pedo. My now ex got her to stop and sent her to her room along with the other siblings. I wanted to apologize but before I could even start he told me to keep my mouth shut and listen. He forgave me before I even asked for forgiveness but said what he can't forgive is the fact that I basically turned his little sister against him and making her doubt his intentions. It took him almost the full day to get her to talk to him and she only talked to him after the 16-year-old assured her that he did nothing wrong and only want to help her like he helped her. His exact words was, "You turned one of my children against me, that is something I can't and will not forgive. You are dead to me, now get the fuck out of my house." He said it with so much anger in his voice and I could see in his eyes that he absolutely hated me in that moment. I was actually scared. For myself in that moment. I have talked to some of my friend about this and you all might be galled to hear but I'm losing friends as well. Even my own sister is now refusing to talk to me. Yes, in our house my father had nothing to do with our periods and my mom handled everything. What should I have done? I thought he did something wrong. I can see I'm in the wrong but still am I being punished for this? His words really hurt me. That is not fair. I didn't even get a chance to explain myself or anything. After he was done talking he again just kicked me out of his house. I am blocked everywhere and can't get a hold of him. I even tried his sister phone but I'm also blocked there. Edit, please stop asking me for his contact number and his name in the comments and PM. I'm not giving that to anyone. Why would I do that and have one of you try and steal him from me? I screwed up, I know, but I will fix it and get him back. I really do love him and I know he still loves me. This was just a speed bump. Just wait and see, we will be together again. Sorry for the throwaway, I only have Reddit for the parenting subs to help me with the raising of my 3 siblings and I don't want this linked back to me as I am a private person. I 28 meters am currently taking care of my 3 younger siblings. 12M, 12F, 16F since my sister 16F was born. Our parents are nowhere to be found. I don't know if they are in the same state or even in America at the moment, dead or alive, and I don't really care. I don't know what happened, but when my first sibling was born everything was passed on to me, and the same with my other siblings as soon as they were born as well. Long story short, and to give a basic description, I am mom and dad to my siblings. I have taken care of them all of their lives. They know I'm their brother but sometimes slip up and call me dad. Our home became completely toxic, and when I turned 18 I moved out into a small 2-bedroom apartment and took my siblings with me. I worked myself to the bone with taking care of my siblings, working in school. It took me longer than I would like to admit, but I finished school and got a good job. I eventually saved up enough and bought a house for me and my siblings, 4 years ago. I took the legal steps after I got my house, and my siblings are now legally in my custody. I did get in a bit of trouble from the social worker because I never reported anything, but all legal matter have now been settled. The reason for me posting here. A couple of months ago, like 4 or 5 I think, I broke up with my then girlfriend of 1 year. My little sister got her period and I helped her through her first period. She got cleaned up and then I explaining everything in detail to her. My now ex completely blew up on me and called me a pig, creep, pedo and a bunch of other things. My sister 12F just ran out of the living room and locked herself in her room. I told my ex to leave my house. It took me almost the full day to get my sister to talk to me, and she only did after my other sister 16F came home from a sleepover for her to talk to me. My sister 16F helped a lot by also explaining that I did nothing wrong. She even told my sister 12F that I helped her through her first period and that she is lucky because she now has 2 people to help her. Me and her, 16F, my ex did come back to my house, but I told her we were done and kicked her out again. The problem was that she started to follow us around, stalking us. Every store I went into she all of a sudden was there. If we went to the park she was at the park. I did block her and made sure that she was blocked on all of my siblings' phones as well, but we did start to receive phone calls and messages from other numbers that was clearly her trying to excuse her actions with a sob story. This went on for a month until she tried to sign my little brother and sister out of school one morning after I dropped them off with a fake permission letter. Luckily the receptionist called me and I was able to stop her from signing my siblings out of school. That is when I filed for the restraining order. I got all the evidence, photos, messages, calls, everything, and we got the restraining order. Me or my siblings running into her at places dropped considerably. She has violated the restraining order a couple of times since then, and when I went to the police they told me they couldn't do much as it can't be proven that she is doing it deliberately, and when we run into her she doesn't stop us, she just continues on her way or leave wherever we are at. I don't know how she knows where we are all the time, but I have seen her multiple times even when I changed my schedule for when I do things, change the stores where I buy groceries, shopping, everything. Recently the house next to mine got put on the market for rent and guys who want to rent it. I noticed her showing up to the house with a real estate agent to look at the house. She came up to me with a smile and said, "I guess we will be neighbors from now on." I went into the house and showed the real estate agent the restraining order and then called the police. This time they took me seriously and my ex was arrested. My ex lost the house as the company is refusing her business, and the agent has given a statement to the police that my ex has asked specifically to rent the house next to mine. My ex was arrested but not imprisoned and only had to pay a fine. I am now receiving a bunch of calls and messages calling me an asshole for destroying my ex's life. She is being evicted from her apartment, same rental company. She might lose her job as she can't find a place to stay within her budget and possibly has to move back in with her parents living in a different state. Her own sister and friends are refusing to help her. Don't really know why they don't want to help her, but I don't see that as my problem as long as my siblings are safe. Some of my own friend are calling me an asshole because me enforced the restraining order and causing my ex unnecessary problems as she is really no threat to me and I am now being vindictive. Edit, I appreciate everyone telling me about an old post made by my ex. Yes, that is about me and my situation. I wasn't aware she posted and not really happy that she did, but I can't do anything about that now. She was a lovely woman when I got to know her, and when we started dating, she got along with my siblings until the morning she blew up at me for trying to help my sister with her first period. I don't know if she was acting or what happened, but she completely flipped after that. I also now know why her sister and some of her friends are refusing to help her. That is her own doing, the same with the situation she is finding herself in. Regarding her post, I will never take her back. That will not happen. My siblings are my priority. She is deranged if she thinks that I will ever take her back or even consider it. Regarding some of my friends that are saying I'm taking things too far and being vindictive. I didn't mention it in my post and didn't really want to make it a gender issue, but the friends who are saying I'm going too far being vindictive and that she is no real threat are also women. I will have a conversation with them and explain everything in detail to them again. If they still don't agree with my actions, I will cut them off. The only reason I'm giving this chance to them is because they have helped a lot with my siblings, especially my sisters, when I came to advice. Now on to second story. Mom is secretly dating her gym instructor. denying it to everyone while occasionally still making homophobic comments, and I've finally caught on. My dad passed away when I was young in a car accident, exactly, when I was 4. So, she tried hard to make sure we had a good life. My mother worked in various places, until she got a well-paying job, which is the one he currently works on. We both grew up in a somewhat conservative area where homosexuality, not that it wasn't frowned upon. There were LGBT people and they were completely accepted. But there were families who didn't like the idea of homosexuality too much. My mother grew up with that mentality. She didn't hate the LGBT idea, but she certainly disliked gay couples a bit. One time, we saw a gay couple in a mall and she said something like they shouldn't do that in public, much less kiss. During my childhood and adolescence she had several boyfriends. Her longest relationship lasted almost 5 years. I really liked that guy because we used to play Monopoly and various video games. Luckily we still talk because he is one of my mother's best friends, but they both decided to take different paths and had to separate. Now, or months ago, a year ago, I started going to a gym near my house. She began to notice my physical changes. It crossed her mind to go to the gym with me. Until several months ago he started going to the gym, after thinking about it a lot. After months she lost a lot of weight, and improved physically. I noticed several guys from the gym looking at her carefully. In September, she signed up for the spinning class with other ladies. At first she only went in the mornings, but after 4 weeks, she also went in the evenings. My mom told me that she had become friends with Jennifer, the spinning teacher, not her real name. Some weekends she let me know that she was going out to eat or run with Jennifer. This is how their friendship continued. There were times when my mother spoke with Jennifer for several moments on the phone or on WhatsApp. I began to suspect my mother's feelings towards Jennifer, when one day they went out for a run but it started to rain. I heard from the noises that they came running and stood next to the roof on one side of the entrance. I looked out my window and saw them both outside the house. Jennifer and my mother were laughing and I saw my mother's face completely red and nervous, like when she was with her boyfriend from before. Jennifer's face was the same as my mother's. Then they gradually stopped their conversation and looked at each other. I saw my mother look Jennifer in the eyes and then shift to other parts. They both started to get closer, and for a moment I thought they were going to kiss, but they both stopped. At all that time I was sitting in my room looking out the window. Through my window you can clearly see the entrance to my house and the garden. Then my mom and Jennifer came home. I greeted them both. Jennifer and my mom looked a little uncomfortable and then Jennifer left. I asked my mom if something had happened, because her face was red. She flatly denied it and asked me not to talk about it anymore. More things happened. My mom and Jennifer's outings increased and tended to last longer. And the times my mother couldn't see Jennifer she got a little sad. But something happened at the end of November. A person we know left his girlfriend for another guy. As soon as we found out, my mother talked about it privately. Declaring how that was possible. What example was that for the children? That she would never have a relationship like that. And basically, saying bad things about LGBT people. Hearing her say this made me a little sad for her situation. Because, clearly my mother had feelings for Jennifer but she didn't seem to want to accept it. 4 days ago I went out with friends to watch a movie. My mom was going to be home because it was her day off. I told her that I would be arriving nearby in the evening. But things happened and I had to return home early. When we arrived, my mother's car was not there. So I just went to my room and played some video games. Shortly after I saw her arrive with Jennifer. I heard some strange sounds, took off my headphones, and walked down the stairs carefully. And I saw my mom and Jennifer hugging each other. I saw that my mom was sobbing. They both moved away and then my mom kissed Jenny, and she did the same. I returned to my room being very careful not to make any noise. 5 minutes passed, and I heard them leaving. They both kissed again and got into the car together. And in case you were wondering, I had all the lights in my room off. The only thing that was on was my computer. About an hour passed and they both returned with Walmart bags of paper, gift bags, and toys. My mother always gives toys to my nephews or the children of her friends. And yes, they were for them. My mother and Jennifer greeted me. And between the three of us, we wrapped the toys with the paper and kept others in the bags. When Jennifer left I asked my mom, not directly, if something was going on between them. My mother got nervous and denied it completely. For now my mom has not seen Jennifer, because she went to spend the holidays with her family like us. At the moment I can't feel happier for my mother. It seems like she already admitted what she feels but she hasn't told anyone. I'm going to try to tell her that I know by showing her all my support and love and that I don't care if she's actually gay. The only thing that matters to me is seeing her happy. Update 1. Short summary of the previous post. My straight mother joined the gym near my house, improved a lot physically, and then joined the spinning classes. She met Jennifer, the spinning teacher. They became good friends to the point of going for a run and then having breakfast. But their relationship grew and one morning they almost kissed outside the house. Before Christmas, my mom came home with Jennifer. My mom started crying and then she and Jennifer kissed. Lastly, she was looking for a way to show my support to my mom. Some things about my mother: she grew up in a fairly conservative area, and she maintained that mentality. And to that add that she is a little religious. We moved when I was very young, to a much more liberal area, where seeing LGBT people was more common. I remember that she didn't like same-sex relationships at all, but mainly those of two women. When I was in high school, I had a friend who was bi. She had several boyfriends, but then she had a girlfriend. When my friend visited me, my mother seemed uncomfortable. She never said anything offensive to her, but, without a doubt, she could see his discomfort. Well, now after my previous post, I asked my mom if she had some kind of relationship with Jennifer. She replied a little annoyed, "No, why do you think that? Don't go telling anyone that you think that." I didn't comment anything anymore, and only hinted that it was a joke. And ironically, something happened at the New Year's party, which was attended by my mother's friends and family. After a few beers, all kinds of conversations arose: religion, politics, recent events in the country, music, and at some point, relationships. Everyone was in the patio. I was on the other side of a glass door with shutters, but you could hear everything they were saying. One of the friends talked about his family, and I don't know what else. But then, my mother responded to a question: I would never have a relationship with another woman. I don't really like those relationships. I can imagine how difficult they must be. One of her friends said sure? To which everyone laughed. 4 days ago, my mother and I returned home. As I expected, my mother called Jennifer directly. I don't know what they talked about, but my mother looked clearly happy. Later she told me that she spoke with her. I mentioned the idea of her inviting Jennifer to dinner, to which my mother agreed with her doubts. So, Jennifer will most likely come to my house for dinner tomorrow, or in 2 days. I guess my mother still doesn't feel ready to admit that she has a girlfriend or that she likes women. For the time she has flatly denied it. The idea I have is to improve relations with Jennifer little by little, until my mother feels more comfortable talking about the subject. And talk, little by little, about how I support these types of relationships, not so obvious winks about her. Or I could wait a while, but I just want her to feel comfortable and be happy. Is this way of supporting her okay? Or do you know another way I can support her? Update 2. To start, it was a pretty interesting week. Those of you who read the previous post will remember that Jennifer would come to my house for dinner. Well, dinner was great. I got to know Jennifer better. She already knew her a little because she was already a trainer at the gym before being the spinning teacher. One day after my previous post, I helped my mother make dinner: ribs, pasta, and a salad. Jennifer arrived very radiant. Honestly, I was amazed. I was used to seeing her in gym clothes, which is a top and sports shorts. She came home wearing a floral dress, loose, wavy hair, and a cool pair of sneakers. While my mother also put on a dress, put her hair up in basically casual clothes. While I was only wearing a black t-shirt and brown boots. I felt a little bad for dressing too casually. We talk about everything. Or almost everything. We talked about anecdotes, food, hobbies. Jennifer gave me some nutrition tips. And it turns out that she and I have similar tastes: series, movies, video games. There was a time when we talked about a movie and book saga, HP. It was just great. I looked at my mother and she looked completely happy. After dinner, we continued talking for a while. I asked Jennifer if she was dating anyone. Sorry, knowing the situation maybe it wasn't the best, she smiled and said yes. I didn't ask any more after my mother told me up, "Don't ask her that," and Jennifer said, "No, don't worry, it's okay, he's just curious. I'm dating someone and I really like that person." I turned to look at my mother. And she smiled as she saw us. Bothy apologized and went to the kitchen with all the dirty plates and glasses. I heard them continue talking. I looked carefully and saw that they were holding hands. They let go when they heard I was approaching. We said goodbye to Jennifer and I told my mom that she was nice. The following days it was the same routine. In the mornings my mother and I go to the gym, then I go to university and she goes to work. I return in the afternoon and my mother returns at night after going to her spinning class. During these days I hardly mentioned anything about that very important matter, except for one day when I made a comment about hanging out with Jennifer more. My mother agreed with that idea. On Saturday we went to a plaza to make some payments, and to buy several things. We stopped by Jennifer and it was all fun. Then Jennifer made a comment when we were carrying some things up: "Don't you want some ice cream?" Because I do want one. We went to get some ice cream and sat in some chairs. It was a pretty nice moment. I noticed that at various times my mother and Jennifer would get closer and at the same time try to keep their distance. Yesterday my mother went out for a while around noon. I bought a box of cake mix and several colorants. I made a rainbow cake so it would be ready when she returned. When my mother returned she was surprised with the cake. She broke it and asked why it was a rainbow. Then I confessed to her that I already knew about her relationship with Jennifer. I told her about the time she almost kissed her outside the house when it was raining, and about the time she kissed Jennifer days before Christmas. I told her how happy I was for her and Jennifer, that her relationship didn't bother me at all. My mother started crying, hugged me and started telling me that she was afraid to tell me. She then told me not to tell anyone in the family, because maybe they wouldn't see it very well, but what she will tell them at her time. We sat next to the table to eat the cake. My mother said that she didn't know if she was actually gay and that maybe that was the explanation why her other relationships didn't quite work out. Then she let it all out of her. He started dating Jennifer shortly after starting spinning classes. At first they were friends with her, but little by little he fell in love with her. They both confessed one day when they went to breakfast, and since then they began dating his mom's words girlfriends. Turns out they started dating long before Christmas. My mother was afraid that I would find out about her relationship and she was afraid that I would not support her. That's what I saw before Christmas. Well, that's the situation. My mom came out as gay/lesbian shortly after. And she has a girlfriend. She later called Jennifer to tell her what happened and come home for dinner. I am very happy for her and for admitting who she is. She is clearly happy with Jennifer. Nothing could be better.